everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Crystal, where we are playing Ecruteak City. This is turn 33. Let's jump into it. Okay, so it looks like we've got a lot going on, but most of this is just site searching and moving and things like that. There are a couple of really important things that do happen in this turn. Most of them not on our favor, and we'll talk about that. I had a realization, and it's not a fun one, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. Alright, so let's go through things, shall we? Gas Champ 1 has claimed the Outer Throne. Very good. Okay, so this is going to give us some Dom spread. This is going to give us magic in our Dominion, and this is going to give us 3 Astral Pearls per turn. Very nice. We've got some reanimation, and then we're going to go through site searches. We've got a Twiceborn, we've got nothing with Dark Knowledge, nothing with Dark Knowledge, Twiceborn. Auspex gets us a Sky Split Oak. That is a +1 air gem. That's good for us. Dark Knowledge, nothing. Got another Ghastly Champion. Cloud Trapezed, another Gas Champ. We've got reanimation, nothing with Dark Knowledge, nothing with Dark Knowledge, nothing with Dark Knowledge. We've got a Labyrinth of Skulls, which is a Death 1, and that's it. Okay, so we've got Cool Trainer has attacked into Arcadis. This isn't going to be anything. He's going to get attacked by Zubats and die. Very easy. Okay. And then we have a battle in Dopharos as we are actually attacked by Cyanwood City. And this is just Cyanwood City. They've got an assassin that they're moving around, just attacking stuff with. So let's see how this goes. So the Hitmonchan, boop, pops the Raticate. Boop, pops the Haunter. Boop, pops the Yanma. Boop, pops the Ghastly. Boop, pops the Ghastly. Just kicking ass. So that's really kind of fortunate for the Hitmonchan for Cyanwood City. There was definitely the chance that the Hitmonchan gets hit with any of those ranged attacks or anything like that. But whatever. It was fun. It was funny. So he has taken this. Easy. We have an unexpected event in Lilidor where we're gaining unrest, losing population. We have an unexpected event in Anvast, where this is actually really interesting. A limping man in a black coat has appeared at the gates of the local stronghold. He offered a deal to anyone willing to sign his contract in blood. Medium 3, the Ecruteak City's medium, signed it, unable to risk the temptation. We have got a soul contract there. We'll take a look at that in just a second. We've started to destroy the fort in Cyanwood City, severely damaged. Swamp of Solitude has been breached! Finally breached. So now we can actually attack it. Very good. We've done some patrolling, we've got some promotions, and Seaboy 1 lives again as a Haunter champion. So now we know our cool trainers will turn into Haunter champions, and that's pretty interesting. Not Gengars, but Hunters. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look at what we are doing. As the board state has unfurled, our goal remains the same, right? We are going to try to win the game within the next 10 turns or so by we've already taken the Outer Throne and we're fording it. We're about to take Swamp of Solitude, and we have a Gas Champ there to claim it. We're probably going to wait on the claiming of it, though. And then the plan is to try to hit Sleepy Mountains, Waywoods, and Arcadis, basically all at the same time, and snag that surprise Throne Rush victory. Okay? So, what is going on in that vein? We're continuing the siege in Cyanwood City. The walls are severely damaged, which I believe means we are just over halfway. We have 51 siege strength here with the massive amount of units that we have. Okay. we are moving all the units that we have in the area in that direction. We're moving another 80 stack, a 59 stack, another 80 stack. We're moving basically 2 more 80 stacks in that general direction. All of them with the intention of combining up in Cyanwood City and heading towards Sleepy Mountains. So in the Sleepy Mountains, we have what seems to be a decently sizable force, right? We've got a bunch of Growliths. Growliths are a problem. Growliths have magical attacks. They will fuck us up. Scissors. Scissors are a problem. They have magical attacks. They will fuck us up. They have magical attacks, and they have very high protection. This is going to be difficult. It's going to be incredibly difficult to do with just our ghosts, because the ghosts have very low siege strength. There's not a lot that they can do as far as, just in general. There's not a lot of tricks they can do, right? They just shoot things and hopefully don't die. So we need an overwhelming force to be able to do anything against Sleepy Mountains. So we're going to be continuing to move basically all of the ghosts that we can get in that general direction, even to the point to where we might start sending some ghosts from over in Ecruteak City and Anvast, this area, that way as well. And we might, after we storm the castle of Swamp of Solitude, which we are doing this turn, we might send this force, or portions of this force, down towards Sleepy Mountains as well. Part of the plan is we might sit Gaschamp 2 here in Swamp of Solitude and just reanimate every single turn for the rest of the game. And the point there being is that Long Dead have 0.1 siege defense. It's not great, but it's basically the same as a Ghost. Oh, Ghosts actually have a little bit more. So probably what we would do is we've got a fort here, so we'll probably put a temple here as well, right? And try to begin the free spawn and just set Gaschamp 2 on reanimation duty every single turn for the rest of forever, so that we have a bunch of siege strength here, or siege defense rather, in order to try to avoid being popped, basically. Okay, so we're storming Swamp of Solitude, continuing to break down Cyanwood City, moving units towards Cyanwood City. We are moving these units from Dunes of Death into Ba'an Kish to just be kind of like protectors for the moment in Ba'an Kish, because I don't want to turn around and lose it. We are also moving a Gaschamp 1 up towards Cyanwood City. We're moving a lot of people around in circular motions, continuing to do that kind of like gathering of troops, etc., etc. We're killing off some junior trainer boys this turn in Arcadis, trying to get more junior trainer Ghastly champions. And let's talk about one of the big disappointments this turn. So, we had talked previously about the excitement of getting junior trainer Ghastly champions with these, the Ecruteak's Choice Scarf and Ecruteak's Choice Band, specifically for the point of added siege strength. If we check this Ghastly champion, Junior Trainer Boy 2, he now has a siege strength of 14.3. Now, to get this, he loses a death magic. And if you notice, we also have another lost death magic. This is because he has +6 defense and +9 move speed, which gives him a total of 19 move speed, 13 defense, because Ghastly champions have abysmal. And this is actually with a bonus, actually. This is because he's in Death 3, so normally he would only have 10 with this +6, okay? And so he has no death skill. He has no death access. He has 14 siege strength, and he has 19 map move, right? Not really that big of a deal. But the concept that I had was, if I make a couple of these, and stick them on Ghastly Champions, we can actually have them pop. We can have them be a mobile force and move around swiftly enough, not crazy fast, but swiftly enough, and pop some locations far faster than we would normally be able to do, right? Because every Ghastly Champion with this setup, right, with this 14 siege strength, is like 160 ghosts on their own. Maybe not that much. Maybe like a lot of ghosts, right? It's kind of crazy. However, this is a misinterpretation on my part. It's right there. It says it. I just interpreted it in a different way. Only one Ecruteak's Choice Scarf is allowed by law at a time. It wouldn't be as stylish otherwise. My assumption was that meant it was you could only wear one at a time, right? You couldn't stack them. No, that's not the case. These are legendary items. You can only have one at a time. And I have to say, like, flat out, these are abysmally weak to be legendary items. If they didn't negate your death magic, if they didn't get rid of death magic, then they would still be weak, but they would be enticing enough to grab, right? Because they're cheap, you know, and they give you a little bit of a bonus. Nice. Not something that's like, oh, wow, I need this every single time. It's very good, right? But it's a nice bonus. Very good. As it is, with the death magic, when I first started playing this, Nation, I didn't give this a second thought because losing death magic is like, that's insanity, right? This is the death magic nation. Losing death magic just means you can't do any of the things that you're supposed to be doing, right? It's not worth it for what you're getting. The only time it came to the only time where I was like, this might actually be worth it is when I began to realize that our siege strength was so abysmal. And then I was like, you know what? Stacking these on a bunch of different Ghastly Champions might actually be the only reasonable way that we have to pop forts. If this is, and obviously that we can't do that, right? Because they're legendary items, you can only have one at a time. Done. If this is going to be a legendary item and it's going to decrease your death magic, it's actually going to drop. This siege strength needs to be doubled or tripled, right? This fucking defense skill or map move needs to be doubled or tripled. Like, these items, or even if you want to, like, increase the cost in advance, but, like, either get rid of the minus death magic, make them not unique, right? Like, you can, here's the different stages. You can either get rid of the death magic minus, okay, and leave them as unique, and then they still wouldn't be great, but they'd be, oh, here's 10 gems for some okay items. Pick it up. Or you could keep the death magic minus, and make them not unique to where it's how we were thinking, right? It's a scenario where it's like, well, these are gonna make your mages not great, but it will give them the ability to siege things way faster. Okay, that's an option. Or get rid of the death. No. Get rid of the death minus and leave the stats how they are. Keep the death minus, or get rid of the death minus, leave the stats how they are. Keep the death minus, make it not unique, or keep the death minus and keep it unique, but like double or triple what you're getting out of this. Like, this would still be okay as a unique if it was basically the same power as like a gate cleaver, right? If I was losing death magic and this was 50 siege strength, I'd still pick it up, right? And I'd still toss it on one of my champions, and I'd be like, well, that champion's gonna be a useless caster, but he's here for the extra 50 siege strength, right? That's the only reason he's here. That's it, period. But 12 siege strength is just not it's just not enough. It's just not enough. These two items, and that's just this one, right? The choice band, at least the siege strength is valuable to you. The choice scarf, this is all but useless, right? This is the only reason this is of any interest in any way, shape, form, or fashion is because you can't put boots on them. You can't put boots on the champions. So this is a move speed. This is something that you can toss on your mages willy-nilly, your champions, to move them around the map. One at a time. It's not... get out of here. Like, it's no. It's not a good item. It's not useful. So that was disappointing. That's me spending 5 minutes bitching and moaning about the disappointment of the choice scarf and the choice band. I thought that was going to be a cool scenario. It's not. Are we still going to use it? Yeah, we're still going to use it. It's still going to be 14 siege strength. And we're going to need it to be able to pop the wooden fort over in Sleepy Mountains. Ooh. I say that. So next turn, we're actually going to go look at listless lands. I say next turn. We probably won't be able to make it to listless lands in a single turn, obviously, but we're going to go look at it with the intent of trying to see, is it fortified? Can we get to it in a single turn? Or can we pop it in a single turn? What are our options there, right? Because the problem with trying to do something like that on a fort is it gives people more time to respond. If we stealth in to listless lands and there's no fort there, or we stealth into Illidar, right, and there's no fort there, then suddenly we know, oh shit, we can do that. That's a big deal. So keep that in mind, right? We're gonna try to get eyes on Illidar, on listless lands, and on Mometh. Though I think Mometh is definitely outside of our reach, honestly. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, what else are we doing this turn? Mostly we're staying the same compared to what we have been. We're doing a whole lot of reanimation. We're doing... I don't think we're really doing any dark knowledge anymore. We're continuing to do arcane probing. We're continuing to do auspex. We're capturing another Ghastly Champion. We're moving Gas Champ 3 over to Cyanwood City. We are recruiting another cool trainer. Let's take a look at this. This is Seaboy 1, the Haunter Champion. So what do we get out of these cool trainers? So we spent 225 gold plus a turn or two of upkeep, right? What do we get in response? Well, we get a lot, actually. So the cool trainers themselves are 11 hit points, mediocre stats. They are taskmasters. This is actually important. It's important. It's important because the champions are not. Because they're not trainers, they're actually Pokemon. So we lose inspirational, right? We lose them really being good leaders. But what do we gain instead? We gain a lot of defensive buffs, basically. We gain more HP. I think we gain more magic resistance and morale. Yeah, we get higher magic resistance up to 14. We get higher morale up to 16. We get Sacred, right? We get Invulnerability 20. We get some poison resistance. We get Ethereal. We get Floating. We get all the normal stuff that we get. with them being sacred, we also get recuperation, we get undead regeneration, we get a sleep aura, we get a series of attacks. It is pretty good, and actually our leadership goes up. Never mind. I thought we got less leadership. We get more undead leadership. We just don't get the inspirational leadership, which actually is important because our freaking ghosts' morale is shit, which is infuriating. But this is a pretty good trade. Obviously, the other thing being that these are upkeep cost 0, right? So we get very powerful mages for 0 upkeep. This is kind of a difficult bootstrapping, right? Where we are consistently having... And here's another thing. This is just in a situation where... we have easy access to ways to kill our units. You're not always going to have that in every game, right? The concept of like, oh, well, you can twice more in your mages and then kill them, and then, one, that costs gems constantly. And 10 gems per caster. It's one thing for the junior trainer boys being 5 gems, but 10 gems per caster is not cheap, right? On the cool trainers. I didn't twice more in this guy. I was supposed to twice more in him. My bad. But then on top of things, right, you got to keep in mind that's a process where you got to take a slow to recruit cap mage, right? So that's 2 turns of recruitment, and then the next turn, if you're doing these immediate, you still don't get to use him because you have to twice born him, and then the next turn, if you're doing this immediately, you still don't get to use him because you have to kill him. And you have to have a easy way to kill him. Like, you have to have an underwater province adjacent or nearby, right, that you can drown him in. You have to have an unconquered or an enemy province nearby that you can throw him into and hope that he dies. And you're not always going to have those things, right? You're not always going to have a water province right next to you. You're not always going to have an unconquered province or an enemy province right next to you that's easy access. Right? And so even in that scenario, you get four turns to take a good mage and make him usable and upkeep cost 0. And obviously, like, we need to do that because we have such abysmal income, but that is not typically something that is going to be very efficient. Right? So that is a big concern. What else are we doing? We are... actually, there's not a whole lot else that we're doing. We're going to be finishing Conjuration 4 this turn. We're going to be moving into Enchantment 5. I think Enchantment 5 is going to be the big thing that we need to hit. So, since we're trying to end the game in the next 10 turns or so, we've got to be particular about what can we achieve in our research goal that's going to help us in that near future. And I think Enchantment 5 is probably that issue for Communioned Horde of Skeletons, basically, is the big deal. So we're going to see how that goes. We should be able to get there in 2 turns, and that kind of lines up with the concept that we're hoping to achieve. In the next 2 turns, we should have enough force on Cyanwood City. I'm hoping to pop it on turn 3 or 4. And then after that, it's a couple turns move over to Sleepy Mountains. So if we're looking at 3 or 4 turns for Cyanwood City, 3 or 4 more turns to get over to Sleepy Mountains, that's about that 10-turn range where we're looking to hopefully end the game. So that should be it as far as this turn goes. We're continuing to... I think schoolgirls are probably going to be our best bet here, so we're continuing to produce schoolgirls. We're probably not going to make more cool trainers just because this process, like I described, is just such a long process. And while they're very powerful, we just don't have... We don't have the time to go through this process and get enough of these to, I think, make a difference. So we're probably going to especially with the income problems. That's the other thing, right? If we had free money, then we would probably do it because why not? But we're probably going to default to putting out either white channelers or maybe even defaulting to some great channelers here or there. So we'll see how it goes. All right. That is going to be it for the turn. Hope you enjoyed. We will see you all next time. Very tense turns. We're so close. We'll see how it goes. Bye, everybody.